All right, well, folks, more conversation about a Jazzman's Blues. And I was talking with another, viewer of the film over the week. I talked with several people, and something that kind of became somewhat of like a joke amongst the fan base. Man, it's crazy. At the beginning of the film, we see an older Hattie Mae, who's portrayed by Daphne Reed, who best known as the second Aunt Viv in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air series. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, she looks familiar, but I'm like, nah, that couldn't be her, but it was. Then at the end of the film, it's back in 1987, and we see an older Leanne. And a lot of people is like, yo, it's crazy, is it just me, or did Leanne get whiter or lighter as she got older? Not to mention, when you kind of compare them side by side, it seems like Leanne looks even older than Hattie Mae. And I was talking with someone about it, and they brought up the fact, hey, like, black don't crack, but at the same time, look at it this way. It was almost like 40 years between when Bayou was killed to where the end of the film, where we see Jonathan going to bring his mother those letters. So basically, think about almost 4 decades of Leanne carrying around all that guilt, that stress, that shame, and that kind of thing will lead to, an kind of like, maybe not necessarily a rapid, but more like an increase in aging. So that could actually explain why Leanne looks so much older than Hattie Mae by the end of the film. And that actually makes a lot of sense when I really sit down and think about it. I mean, every day knowing that you technically were the cause of his death. And I've already done a video about like who's responsible for Bayou's murder, and there are a lot of different parties involved. At the end of the day, Bayou should have just never come back to Hopewell County. Even though he snuck in, it was just way too big of a risk. I mean, if you had like a neutral party to go like get your mom, that would have been cool. Leanne and the baby, that's an iffy one, because at that point it's like she's way out of your grasp. And one could argue that if Willie Earl didn't snitch, they all could have escaped, but it was just too much of a risk, if you ask me. Not to mention with Bayou being a success and that kind of stuff, that could easily paint a target on their back, like, hey, that's where they are, that kind of, I don't know. It's just one of those things where there's a lot of, what do you call it, like, there's a lot of red tape, or to kind of yellow tape to cut through to get to what you want. Take care of your mom, and then the rest, it is what it is. So I mean, I was just thinking, like, I know it was the 40s, he was a success. You telling me ain't no woman on the road that he couldn't get with? I'm just saying. But yeah, that could explain why Leanne looks so much older by the end of the film, because she carried around so much guilt and shame. I mean, because she was essentially living a lie for decades. The fact that due to her mom, she was playing herself as a white woman. So yeah, that's enough to really eat away at anybody's, sanity, morality, and, well, deterioration of their physical attributes. So yeah, that could explain a lot. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Could that be why Leanne looks so aged by the end of the film? And with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in. I do appreciate the support here on the channel as always. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you are up to date whenever I post content on the channel. And with that being said, I will talk to you soon.